Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the final episode of Songwriting Simplified for 2023. I hope everybody is doing well and has had a great Christmas week and has had a great Christmas altogether. I certainly did. I had a wonderful time with my family and it was great. And we were totally blessed, and so were the kids. They were totally blessed. It was fantastic, and everybody was very, very, very happy. It was a really great time together, and we went and we spent most of it with my mum and dad's. We had Christmas morning here so that the kids could unwrap some of their presents, and then we went through to my mum and dad's over in Fife, which was awesome. It was only about on a good day, you can get across there in 45 minutes. In moderate traffic, it's about an hour and 10 minutes. But other than that, it was actually a pretty easy drive across the bridge over the Firth of Forth, and when you once you cross over, you get there. And yeah, it was nice. We had a great time, and it was very relaxing. Although I still have my apparently completely unshakable cold, it won't clearly bugger off and go away and leave me alone. So I spent periods of Christmas in bed, actually, feeling really quite miserable and sorry for myself. So I finished work on the 22nd, and between the 22nd and the morning of Christmas Day, I was pretty much in bed. It was not necessarily the most fun time I've ever had. But, you know, that's just the way it goes sometimes. And then when I was at my mum and dad's for Christmas, it was nice. And again, I was in bed for much of Boxing Day. So, but other than that, I'm okay. I'm hanging tough. I'm hanging in there. This is just one of the things that I'm going to have to live with the blood disorder that I have. I have a relatively common blood disorder, which is progressive and chronic. And so one of the side effects of that is that my immunity is lowered, which means colds and flu and, of course, COVID are going to find it a lot easier to get into my system. So I have not had COVID yet. Again, I've already had it twice. Don't particularly want to have it a third time, but I know people that have had it 3 or 4 times. And but so far, I have escaped that. I've just had a cold. It's been not very pleasant, but it's not been COVID. I've kept on testing negative, so we're all good on that front. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to go to my parents, which would have been a right pain in the buttocks. But here we are, final show of 2023. So this is going to be a little bit of a retrospective look back over 2023 from the Songwriting Simplified point of view, and also casting our eyes forward, because we don't like to just look back here. Looking back is good because it provides you with an opportunity to reflect on where you've been and what you've accomplished and what you've achieved. But you can't stay at that point. You have to start looking forward. So we're going to do both tonight. We are going to look back, and we're also going to look forward. So first of all, let's get to who's here, because that's what we always do. So anyway, Christina was first in the door. Well done to you, Christina. If you're still awake, I don't know whether you are, because it'd be like 1 o'clock in the morning for you. But if you are, that's awesome. But you were here, followed by Billy, followed by Chris Rachna, and Sean Aaron is here, John Hawk is here, Just Bob is here, and he says, "All hail Jonny Lipsham, Ambassador of Scotland." I'd like to think that I might be one of those. "The centre of the universe, the cradle of the civilized world. The universe bows to the greatness that is Scotland." Or hit the like button. Yes. You certainly can bow to the greatness that is Scotland, and Scotland most certainly is the centre of this universe and any other universes that there might be. We are at the centre of it because we are that awesome. But if you do not wish to bow to the greatness of Scotland, you could certainly hit the like button, and that would do me a lot of good and would make my heart very nice and warm and would make me feel very good as we go into 2024. So yes, thank you for that, Bob, and for your knowledge of the centrifugal nature of Scotland as it relates to the rest of the known universe. That's very, very wise words there. And Kyle Traduziak is here. And let's see. And you guys are reminding me to start. Yes, I only did that once, guys. I only did that once. I've been doing this show on my own since Jonny had to step away. I've only been doing this for like maybe 9 months on my own. Only once have I failed. However, next year, 2024, just getting to the sneak peek of looking forward. I am hoping to be able to get Jonny on this show at least once next year. Maybe, if his scheduling permits, then maybe a few more times, but certainly at least once I'd like to have him back on Songwriting Simplified. It would be very cool. So thank you for reminding me to start. Don Oliver's here, Harley Bob is here, Danny Taylor is here, Bobby Booth is here, without whom no show is complete. And we got Keith from Radio Talk Frumpet. And we have... Who else do we have? I'm scrabbling through to see if I'm missing anybody. We've got Dwayne and we've got... Ron Figura is here. And Dave from Bops, New York is here as well. He says, peace to all and to all a refill. Most certainly. And Dave, I think the next round is on you, my friend. And we've got Paparaptor Music, my good friend. I'm so glad to see you here. Thank you very much for coming. He says, good evening. And Lloyd, we are very glad that you're here. And I think I've reached the end of it. So if you're watching and you haven't said hello, or you are watching and you can't say hello because it says subscribers only, then hit the subscribe button. You've got nothing to lose. It doesn't cost you anything. So hit that subscribe button. And within 2 minutes of you hitting that subscribe button, the chat will be mysteriously, magically open to you, and you'll be able to say hello, and I will be able to call you out by name, and that would be very cool. I would like to do that. And of course, if you have a question about songwriting, composing, arranging, music theory, and all of that fun stuff, we will do that as well tonight. However, particularly tonight, I would like you to think about some of the things that you may have learned or picked up from on Songwriting Simplified over the course of 2023. So now I'm wanting you to kind of use this bit here and exercise the grey matter and think back to things that you've learned. Now it might be something you picked up, a tip from one of the shows, or maybe from one of the contests we've done. Maybe you've got something that you've learned from one of those. Then by all means, please do post those in the chat. And also, whilst we're thinking about those kind of things, and we will discuss all the episodes of 2023, what you would like to see from Songwriting Simplified going forward into 2024. Because that will give me some excellent ideas of topics to cover, subjects to cover, things to be able to, think about and trying to demonstrate. I would love to do all of that. So that would be really, really helpful to me. So if you've got ideas, and actually, even if you don't put them in the chat tonight, if you've got ideas and you think, hey, this actually might be worth, me compiling a bit more of a list for, a more of a serious list, then go down to the website, which you can't see there because we're on the wrong background. However, I can go and put the other background on. If you give me a wee minute, I can go put on the original background. There we go. So if you go down to jonnylipshamstudios.co.uk, and there's a contact us button in the menu at the top, or you can just scroll all the way down to the bottom and you'll find the contact form there because they are linked. You can then email me your suggestions for show subjects, show topics, things to demonstrate, music theory, composing concepts, arranging concepts. Maybe it's writing horn section parts. Maybe it's writing strings for strings, or arranging for orchestra, or backing vocal harmonies, all that kind of stuff. Get those in either the chat tonight or in an email. The choice I'm going to leave up to you. Really, I probably should turn off the Christmas background because it's no longer Christmas, but we are heading rapidly in towards New Year. However, the Christmas background does say, over in this corner, it says Happy New Year. So maybe I should just keep this up until we get to the Hogmanay show. In fact, I may well actually just keep this up all the way through the end of the Hogmanay show, which I will talk about in a few minutes as well. So let's see. Do we have... Oh, we've got Alps here. We've got Louis from Alps Media, who is the wonderful, awesome, fantastic, hilarious, and very resourceful gentleman that he is. He is also the sponsor of Songwriting Simplified and Sunday Night Live, without whom there would be no website for JonnyLipshamStudios.co.uk, because he is the awesome webmaster for my website, and I appreciate that immensely and massively. And it is with great heartfelt gratitude for all of your input and all of your help in 2023, Louis, that you have my deepest gratitude and my deepest thanks for all that you've done to help me grow this channel and grow this community. There are some other people to thank as well. I also want to thank Rich Cresswell, without whom the contests that we have done in 2023 would not have happened. So Rich has been wonderful and generous to this community, and has really helped actually bring us all together. He's made a profound impact upon me personally, upon this channel, and upon this community as well, in sponsoring the contests that we've done, and facilitating prizes for those contests as well. So thank you massively much to Rich Cresswell for his immense kindness and generosity towards me and to this channel and to all of you guys in this community. We should give him a lot of cheers, so please hit that button. You'll see in the chat that there is a heart button. Well, if you click on that, or if you're on a mobile device, if you tap and hold on it, you can change it to a celebration kind of emoji. Spam the shite out of that for both Louis and for Rich as well, so that they know just how much we appreciate them. So please do smash that button for those guys. That would be awesome. I don't know if Rich is here tonight. He may well not be. I rather suspect that his Christmas and New Year's are extremely busy and taken up with family obligations and things. So he may not be here tonight. Just Bob says, I would like to see a challenge where a topic is given and we all supply a line or two of lyrics and then we all make a song out of them, verse, chorus, etc., in any style of music. Wow. You know what? That's not a bad suggestion. That's not a bad suggestion. Dave says, I shall send Rich a Virgin Kenny G record. Dave, that's hilarious, mate. I think that's definitely a winner as far as I'm concerned. So we had some awesome challenges. We had two of particular note, I think, and that is the October challenge, the one for Halloween, which was amazing. The entries that we had for that challenge were outstanding, and you guys totally blew me away. I will admit it. Totally. You guys blew me away with the standard and the quality of the music that you guys wrote for that challenge and published for that challenge. Some of you had never written a note, let alone published a note of music in your lives until we did that Halloween challenge. And you guys know who you are. And to you, extra credit and plaudits should go for your courage and your boldness and just the fantastic nature with which you totally embraced that challenge. Having never done anything like it before in your lives, you just went, you know what, I'm just going to do it anyway. And you did, and you threw yourselves into it. And you know what? You did great. You did great. Just as well as anybody else who has been doing it for years. You know, that showed a lot of cojones, for which I am very, very, very grateful. And yeah, you guys have my utmost admiration for stepping up and just basically doing something you'd never done before. So massive congratulations to you guys. I am immensely humbled and impressed with the standard and the quality of music that you guys put out for the Halloween challenge. It was amazing. And it made the task for me and Rich to actually decide the winner pretty darn tricky. I will be honest, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know that we'd get that many entries because, you know, I've run challenges in the past and, you know, maybe 2 people have entered and it's not been particularly great. It's kind of, you know, fallen down and not been particularly a good thing, and actually a little bit embarrassing, to be honest. But you guys really stepped up to the plate, to use a baseball analogy, for the Halloween challenge, and I was totally blown away by the sheer volume of entries we got, and the fact that every single one of those entries was really good. There was no rubbish there. There was no things that we could just toss out and say, no, not even going to get a listen from us. No, we listened to every single entry, and all of them were really, really good. So I was really impressed. And so we picked a very, very worthy winner for that contest, which was Sean Aaron, whose song and music video was brilliant, quite simply brilliant. And he did an outstanding job of not only fulfilling the brief, which I admit, the brief was a little restrictive and it was a little complicated, working with the B Locrian Natural 6 scale, which was a scale that was mostly completely foreign to all of you. I mean, I knew it existed. I'm a musicologist. I should know that such scales exist. So I was aware of it. I knew it existed. Had I ever really used it? Maybe as part of an improvisation, I had maybe used it in that respect, but never to base an entire work of a composition on. So that I think, if it didn't provide that challenge for you, it certainly did for me. The challenge of making music with a weird sounding scale that had weird intervals built into it that made making chords a little bit tricky and a little bit complicated. I certainly found that, and I found a way through it. But you know, that piece that I made was not easy. It was one of the hardest pieces I've ever written, to be honest. In terms of challenge, it was really complicated, really, really difficult to put together and make it sound really good. I maybe had 3, maybe 4 different goes at it from different perspectives until I found what I wanted and found the sound that I liked. So that was a really, really good challenge. And a big thank you to Rich Cresswell once again for sponsoring that and helping put that together. And then we had the one we've just had, the Christmas Song Challenge, which was really, really good. And again, you guys, I was kind of like, maybe we've hit that, that ceiling. But no, we burst through that ceiling. Every entry was way better than what you guys came up with for the October Halloween challenge. What you guys came up with for Christmas was really, 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 really good. And actually, it was much harder this time for me and Rich to pick a winner. We had the same top three, but there was a lot more discussion and debate as to what the order for the top three should be. And actually, as it turned out, we ended up with a bit of a tie. So for second place, because it was so hard to pick you all apart, really. But Christina, again, was the definite winner. There was no question about it. Once we had all of our discussion, and we listened through the top three songs several times, back to back. I think we listened to them maybe 3 or 4 times each to try and see if there was something that we could pick out that was going to make one of these top three kind of stand above the others. And we did ultimately end up with, and Rich is here, which is awesome. Thank you, Rich. I've just been singing your praises, so maybe you heard that. I don't know. But yeah, it was hard for me and Rich to land upon a winner, but we did. And Christina, over in Denmark, thoroughly 100% deserves to have won the Christmas songwriting contest, because what she did was brilliant. Just like Sean Aaron had done something really brilliant for the Halloween challenge, Christina did something really, really brilliant for the Christmas song challenge, because she wrote a song for us, not for me, not for Rich, but for everybody, for this whole community. That song was about all of you guys, and she wrote it for all of you. And in the song, she talked about the impact that being part of this community has had upon her, and how all of you guys together, all of us collectively together, have really made a big difference in her life, and have really kind of changed and shaped her life and given her confidence as a musician and as a songwriter. And she did some really, really brilliant things that nobody else really thought of, like having, Merry Christmas in about 10 different languages, which was really, really impressive. To come up with something like that was really terrific. And so the fact that she wrote that for everybody, and so she presented the song to the whole community as a gift to the community, was unique. And that was really what made the difference. For me, certainly, that was the element that made the difference between her song and everybody else's, was the fact that she wrote this as a Christmas song to us and for us as a gift. And I thought that was totally brilliant and totally unique. Nobody else had really thought about the songwriting challenge from that point of view. So definitely worthy winner. So 2023 has been a busy year for this channel. We put out a whole bunch of content for Songwriting Simplified. We've had some great questions. We've talked about lots of stuff over the course of this year, and so looking forward to 2024. I've had Rich on this show a few times, and I'm going to keep having Rich on this show, by the way, because Rich is a composer, an arranger, and he writes music for, for TV, for film, for video games, and So he has a lot of knowledge to impart to us for Songwriting Simplified. I think that will really help us, really help take our songwriting skills to that next step, to that next level, to that next point in our journey as composers, arrangers, and songwriters. I also, as I said, I want to get Jonny Guy back on this show as well, seeing as, kind of this show started with him, really. And it's a shame he's had to have kind of a prolonged period of absence for a variety of reasons. So I want to see if I can get him back, and but there's also going to be some other guests as well that I have in mind, and I've yet to contact them to see if they want to get involved, but hopefully they will. And if they do want to get involved, then we will have them as guests on the show, and there will be other people other than me that you can ask questions of, and there will be information that they will be able to impart to you that are really, really going to help you grow and develop as well. So I've got a lot of great ideas going forward into 2024. I'm very excited, but this isn't just about me. This isn't just about my music. And this isn't just about what I know about songwriting. This is a community show. And this is about what you guys want to see, and what you guys want to find out about, and what you guys want me to present to you. So, with that in mind, like I said, if you've got ideas for shows to go into 2024, and topics and subjects that you want to find out more about, or you want to have some discussion on, then, like I said, you can email me, johnny@johnnylipshamstudios.co.uk, or you can put it in the chat tonight. Whichever way. Just bear in mind, you don't have much more than about 140 characters for putting it in the chat. So you might be best off emailing me, but you can certainly maybe give like bullet points in the chat tonight, and then maybe do something a little bit more formalized in email. Either way, whichever you prefer, I'm happy to do either, to be honest. But I want to get your ideas of what you would like to see and what you would like to learn about in 2024. And if that means I have to go away and do some research and delve into some books, because I have plenty of books on arranging, I have plenty of books on music theory, I have plenty of books on composing. I've got loads. And I've got scores and scores and scores. Loads of scores from professional composers. I have Holst. I've got the entire Holst the Planets work. Because when I was a student many years ago, I studied it for studying composition, but I also conducted it as well as part of my music degree. We had to conduct the university orchestra, and so I did Holst the Planets. I did not do all 9 movements. I only did 2 movements. I did the first and the last movements. I thought, yeah, bookends. Nobody wants to conduct Mars because it's so relentless. Nobody wants to conduct Neptune because it's so easy to get lost, because there's so little happening. It's all kind of shifts in tone color and that kind of thing. There's not very much going on. So it's easy to lose track, which is why I wanted to conduct it, because I thought, hey, this is going to be a challenge. And you're damn right, it was a freaking challenge. But it was a good one. Joe Gilder is here, which is awesome. Joe, thank you very much for coming. I'm glad you're here. He says scores of scores. Yes, I have scores of scores. I have 3 score and 10 scores of scores. There you go. That's one for you, Joe. So, I'm just kind of chatting away here. But yes, if you guys have got some ideas, I would love to have them. Full show. But Joe, you all pretty much know who Joe is from the content that he creates for his own channel, Home Studio Corner, and also for the videos that he does for Presonus as well. Joe and I have known each other for pretty much 10 years now, which is awesome. And we have still yet to meet in person. So hopefully one day we'll be able to make that happen. either I'm able to spend 2024 in the garage basically finishing my kayak, a little bit like Jethro from NCIS, perpetually still trying to finish his boat, so that I can then get out into the Atlantic Ocean and kind of row across. But yeah, it'd be great if we could get Joe Gilder over here. I would love to hang out with him in person. I have very much enjoyed hanging out with him on Skype calls and various other things that we've done. But yes, Just Bob says Joe Gilder as a guest. Now that would be freaking awesome if Joe is up for that. Joe, if you're up for that, let me know. If you would like to be a guest on Songwriting Simplified, that would be freaking cool. If you'd like to do that, we can talk and we can figure out when is a good time for us to get you in. And we can talk about songwriting and composing and arranging from your point of view. That would be great. I'm sure that would be immensely valuable to all of these people here. Who else has just joined us that I maybe have not seen? Luke Roberts is here, which is cool. And we got Secret Squirrel here as well. Marvelous. Pretty much everybody's here. Everybody is here that is usually here. Billy Morgan, that's hilarious. Oh, that's just too funny. There you go. We've got a thumbs up from Joe, and he says, yes, let's do it. Absolutely. All right, Joe, we will hook up, mate, and we will get talking on Skype or wherever you would like, and we will sort out when that's going to work best for you, which Wednesday in 2024 you are able to do, and we'll get you in. Cool. There you go. Danny Taylor says the crowd chat's Joe. Yes, absolutely. Let's see what else we got here. Kyle says we've been watching that Joe person very carefully. Yeah, we've all got to make sure that Joe is good, and he is. He's cool. Let's see what else do we have here. I'm going through the chat, folks. But yeah, it would be absolutely outstanding to have Joe as a guest on Songwriting Simplified, because he has put out pretty much a fairly prolific output of songs over the years. I remember there was one year where he set about writing, 50 songs or something in a year or something like that. Some kind of crazy madcap idea, which I thought was brilliant. And he was just like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to actually record them. And then, yeah, I'm actually going to make them into records. And then, yeah, I'm actually going to put these records out. And darn it, he pretty much did. I know that not every one of those 50 songs made it onto a record, but the idea was that he was able to use that body of work to take like collections of the best songs from those 50 and put them out as I think it was 4 EPs or something like that. 50 songs in 12 weeks. There you go. That's even worse than 50 songs in a year. 50 songs in 12 weeks. That's right. I remember. I remember thinking to myself at the time, that was totally a mental idea. But you know what? You were good to your word. That was one of the things that was probably the most impressive things about that challenge. It wasn't just that you said you was going to do it, is that you actually did it. You actually did it, and you did it in front of everybody on YouTube, which was very, very impressive. I remember that. So Joe has a vast amount of experience with songwriting and production. He's done a lot of production for other artists as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it'd be great to have him on the show. Rich Creswell says, you got to set goals, I guess, but it's damn good practice to put yourself under pressure. Too right. That's part of what these songwriting challenges that we've done this year. And by the way, there are going to be more in 2024. There you go. That rhymes as well. yes, we are going to have more songwriting challenges, and some of them are going to be very, very specific, a little bit like the October one we did for Halloween, the B. Locrian Natural 6 scale. Yes, we will do something similar to that, but different. Similar but different for 2024. So there's going to be a few more challenges, mostly because these have actually been really good for me because I've actually put out music as a result. I've put my money where my mouth is, and I've actually, contributed a song to each of the challenges. So they're useful for me. These challenges are useful for me because they get me working hard as well. Like I said, the B. Locrian Natural 6 one was well, we'd say here in Scotland it was a wee bastard to do, and it was tough. But I'm really pleased with the result that I got out of it, and I actually learned a ton from doing that. And then the Christmas one for doing Carol of the Bells, I could have done any other song, and I could have gone, hey, you know what? I've already got a bunch of songs that I arranged for my my band, and I could have just chuck one of those out there, and that would have been it, done. But I thought, you know what, I could do that, but it's a wee bit cheaty, and so I didn't want to do that. Cheaty, I don't know which way you'd say it, but I thought, no, I can't do that. I could, but I can't do it. So I decided, of the two carols that Rich had kind of suggested as, hey, do something with these two. I decided to do my own version of Carol of the Bells, which you heard some of at the intro to the show. So yeah, I'm gonna do more of that kind of thing because that was definitely a challenge for me doing that arrangement. But it was a good challenge, so I'm definitely up for doing more of those kind of challenges where they're a little bit, you have to think a wee bit. And but there's always room at every level to be able to participate in these challenges. So if it's challenging for me, you guys are probably going to say it's going to be impossible for you, or at least some of you might say that. But no, it's not, because you've already proved yourselves wrong, people. You've already proved yourselves wrong, because some of you, as I said earlier, who have never released a note of music in your lives, took part in those two challenges, and you did great. So everybody can do it. Everybody can do it. So that's what we're going to do next year. We're going to do loads more challenges, and we're all going to output a lot more music, and I certainly am too. The last EP that I put out was Belonging to Tomorrow, which was put out in 2016. And I've been a right lazy twat since then. And I'm not ashamed to use those kind of words to describe myself, because I have. I've allowed other things to kind of get in the way of doing what I like doing more than anything else, which is writing music, either instrumental music or songs. So that's something in 2024 I'm going to put right. So I'm announcing it now on this show ahead of 2024 that by the end of spring, so when we get to Easter 2024, I will have a new EP, and I'm going to put it up on my Bandcamp page, and you guys will all be able to go get it, and you'll be able to get it for free, or you'll be able to put whatever price on it you want. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to have a bunch of new songs that are going to go out on this EP, maybe 5 or 6 songs, 6 maybe tops, but certainly 5 brand new tunes, maybe with vocals, maybe not with vocals. I haven't decided yet. I'll kind of see what happens in the process. But yeah, I would definitely like to do that for 2024. So I'm telling you now that I'm going to do it, and I'm going to tell you that it's going to come out at Easter 2024. Why am I doing that? For the same reason that Joe Gilder is always telling his subscribers about, and the thing that he has actually hammered personally into me is set yourself a deadline, make it public, so that way you are held accountable for making sure you put that music out there. So I'm gonna bloody well do it. I'm taking my own advice, and I'm taking Joe's advice, and I'm gonna do it. So that's what we're gonna do. There's gonna be a bunch of challenges. I'm not gonna set an EP challenge for everybody because I don't think that's appropriate for everybody. But that's my personal challenge for 2024 is I'm going to put out an EP of brand new songs. And of course, they're going to be hilarious because that's what I do. I write dry, satirical, hilarious songs that feature quite a lot of jazz harmony and that kind of stuff. And Joe says, well, I'm all excited and motivated now. Cool. I'm glad, Joe. I'm glad you are. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome. 2024 is going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to what we've got coming. Rich and I are going to have conversations about future challenges. And I'm also going to talk to some other people about collaborating on future challenges as well. So some of the challenges that are coming up in 2024, some of them will have prizes, and some of them it'll just be bragging rights. It'll just be a case of we set ourselves corporately as a community a deadline by which we put out music. But we're going to make it specific. So it's not just vagaries where it's just like, we're going to put out just music. No, we're going to release a song, but it's going to, the challenges are going to be specific to helping you make specific music and helping you make specific songs in your style that you prefer to make music in. So if you're a rocker, I want to hear some rock songs. If you're a jazzer, I want to hear some jazz songs. If you're a reggae guy, I want to hear some 1-drop and 2-drop reggae. If you're into soca, I want to hear soca. If you're into frevo or marcha from Brazil, I want to hear it. Whatever the style of music you prefer to make music in, that's what I want you to do for the challenges going forward in 2024. But I am going to put in some little curtailments like we did for October. And like we've also done a little bit for Christmas, although Christmas was a little bit more open-ended. But the challenges for 2024, I'm going to give you specific things that you need to include in your challenge song. So it's a bit more like fulfilling a brief. I'm happy for you to write your music in whatever style you prefer, whatever you are most confident with. But there's going to be little caveats, little things that you need to do, little phrases, little ideas, little stylistic things that need to be included in your song in order for it to qualify for the challenge. So those are kind of the ideas I've got for challenges going forward. Lloyd says, hey, if it has to do with bragging, I'm in. Well, there we go. Awesome. I should head in a Kenny G direction so as to gain favor with Rich. That is one way to bribe the judges, for sure. So yes, I mean, Dave here says, I got a lot of polka stuff coming up. There we go, polka music, if that's what you're into. If you're into klezmer, if you're into, Irish folk music, if that's your bag, I want to hear that music. Okay, I have very, very broad, wide, eclectic tastes. Now, I know that most of you are probably more familiar with the kind of jazz thing that I do because that's my bag. That's where I'm most comfortable. But I have played over the 43, nearly 44 years of performing. I've performed in most styles of music, either on stage or in the recording studio. I've done a lot of different styles in the recording studio as a session musician. So, you know, I have broad experience of playing in lots of different styles. I have broad experience of improvising in a lot of different styles as well. So, and there's a broad, wide variety of musics that I listen to. And yeah, I do like some metal. I played in a metal band once. It was hilarious fun. And it was the most out of character thing I think I have ever done as a performing musician. But I'll tell you what, it was bloody hell worth it. It was fantastic. I had such a blast. And the guys that I played with, they were hilarious fun. They were the characters they put on to perform were, you know, kind of a little bit scary, a little bit angry, a little bit aggressive, but you know, as soon as they step off the stage, they are the nicest, sweetest, quietest, most softly spoken people I think I've ever met, and they are hilariously funny. So it was good. So I've played all of that stuff, and so that's the kind of music I want to hear from you guys for the challenges going forward in 2024. So we're going to kind of make it easy, but we're going to kind of make it challenging at the same time. So it'll be challenge easying. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Let's see. Keith says, I have a new style called PMOP. PMOP. I like it. Stands for Pat Metheny on pot. Well, I think that might actually be I don't know. That might be Pat's kind of thing anyway, broadly. I don't know. I don't want to say anything insulting because I could end up with a lawsuit from the man himself. And I'm actually a big Pat Metheny fan. So, yeah. Let's see. What else do we have here? Chris says, elevator, closet, old and slow. You can do any of those that you want, my friend. Absolutely. Keith, yes, you are correct, mate. You have, totally. All right, so I'm just going to scroll back up. And I'm going to see. Just Bob says, I will email you a more detailed description of the song lyric submission and music writing challenge that I brought up in the chat earlier. Yes, thank you for that, Bob. Definitely. We could have that as a challenge to consider. Certainly for 2024. There are definitely lyric writing challenge ideas that I've got as well. So it'd be good to have a kind of lyrics only challenge. That would be good. Where we provide you guys with the music. And then you guys need to write the lyrics to the music and put your own vocal on and stuff like that. I've got ideas like that. That we will definitely discuss. Danny says, hold the chocolate bunnies. I'm giving your EP as Easter gifts. Awesome. That's cool. I would be totally cool with that. Let's see, what else do we have that I am missing? I'm scrolling back up the chat. So, because we've got like 7 or 8 minutes left, and I want to make sure I don't miss any of your ideas here. Okay. All right. So, I can't really see that there's anything kind of new in the chat there. So, with that said, folks, we're going to wrap up this final show of the year. A massive thank you to everybody for joining me tonight, including everybody, really. Yeah, a big thanks to everybody for coming out. Thank you, Joe, for agreeing to do a Songwriting Simplified show next year. That's going to be awesome. And I know that my little community here would gain invaluable insights from your experience. You and I have written a lot of songs between us, and done a lot of arrangements and a lot of productions between us. So between us, we got a lot that we can talk about. But to get things from your perspective would be awesome, Joe. So that's going to be great. Looking forward to that. Let's see. Joe, that's just too funny, mate. That's too funny. You're a big Kresterberg fan, if I recall. Is there such a thing as an anti-fan? I don't know if there is, but if there is, maybe I've invented it. That would be cool. Super Squirrel says, I'd love to try a lyrics only challenge. Might we get a few different songs in case people are stronger with other genres? Maybe. At the moment, these are kind of ideas up for discussion. So I will flesh out some of these ideas and I will discuss with my brain trust, which is not me because I don't have one. Where I will be talking with Louis, I'll be talking with Rich, and I'll be talking with a few other people as well, and we will come up with some flesh on some bones for these challenge ideas, and they will see the day of light in 2024. So it's going to be exciting, folks. So with that said, I don't know if there's going to be an after show party tonight. Maybe there should be because it is the last one of the year. But what I will say, just to finish up with, is that tomorrow is the 29th of December. And that means it is also a Friday, because for me, it is now clicked over to Thursday. So for you guys, it's not yet, but it will be. So the last Friday of the month is when I host the UK Studio One meetup. And that will be the last one of 2023 as well. So I would love it if we got a record turnout for that. So I think the most we've ever had at a Studio One meetup was like 31 or 32, I think it was. So it would be great if we could beat that hands down. That would be freaking awesome. We also no longer hold the record for the longest Studio One meetup, sadly. One of the US ones went for 9 hours and 37 minutes or something obscene like that. So I will think about possibly if we can get enough people in here on the Zoom call, if we can try and sustain it to 10 hours and, you know, end 2023 in terms of Studio One meetups with a bang and set the challenge for other meetups to see if they can go for longer than 10 hours. That would be freaking awesome. So if you guys are up for that, if you are up for doing something as completely bonkerini insane as that, then please do join me for the UK Studio One meetup. The final thing that I have to say is join me on December 31st for the Hogmanay show. It's the last show of 2023. It's the last day of 2023. So that's why I do the Hogmanay show. What is Hogmanay, I hear you ask? Hogmanay is the Scots word that basically means last day of the year. So in English, you call it New Year's Eve. In Scots, we call it Hogmanay. So that's why I call it the Hogmanay show. So I have done this for several years now, where I start at 7 p.m. Central and we go for an hour or two and we just celebrate. And so for you to think about for that Hogmanay show is your predictions for Persona's hardware and Persona's software products and the music industry in general in 2024. What do you think we'll see? Not that anybody will be able to give you any answers about the hardware and software products in 2024. But it would be great to get your predictions of what you think will come down the line. And then we will watch and see what comes down the line in 2024. And who knows? Maybe you'll be right. Maybe you'll predict it. Maybe you'll call it. So that would be pretty cool. So have a think about that. And I would love to see as many as possible of you at the Hogmanay show. If we could bust 50 people, if we could get more than 50 people at the Hogmanay show on the 31st at 7 p.m. Central Time. That's 1 a.m. UK, 2 a.m. Central European Time. And I think that might even be midday lunchtime in Sydney, Australia. And it's going to be 1 o'clock in the afternoon if you are on South Island, New Zealand. So wherever you are on this definitely not flat oblate spheroid Earth, get yourselves back over here for the Hogmanay show. I'd love to have you all here. We have an after show party set up now. So that's going to be following the link that Billy Morgan has just provided. And just in case you can't see Billy's comments, please somebody copy paste it for me, please. I'd appreciate that. And as Keith says, birds are fake. Well, not sure about that, but I certainly think that donkeys are definitely aliens. That's my conspiracy theory for 2024. Donkeys are aliens. I have no doubt about it. It's the sound that they make. It's the way they walk. They've got to be aliens. No question about it. There we go. All right, folks. I'll see you over at Billy's Zoom for the after show party. And I've got a cup of tea to drink. So Joe Gilder, if you are still here, you're more than welcome to join us. If you're not and you want to go hang out with your family, that's all good. But yes, see you all over there. I wish everybody a very good night, and I will play, for those of you that didn't hear it earlier, a wee bit more of the arrangement of Carol of the Bells that I did for my quintet. And with that, a very good night, and I'll see you all on the UK meetup on Friday and the Hogmanay show on Sunday. Good night, everybody.